On the Bizzamm platform, you can be one of two types of users, basic or advanced. In this video, we'll explain the difference as well as how to make use of the features that being an advanced user will give you access to. Get comfortable, it will take some time, but you're guaranteed to discover a world of potential you didn't think was possible. Let's jump right in by clearing something up. The difference between the basic and advanced functionality hasn't got anything to do with the kind of package or subscription you're on. Instead, it's about the number of features you would like to have access to within your current package, as well as the degree of complexity you require from the Bizzamm system. Importantly, you can change your status from basic to advanced and vice versa at any time at all. So, what does the distinction actually entail? Well, basic users have some functionality hidden from them. This is done to make the system less complicated to engage with, but naturally reduces the scope of their capabilities somewhat. So, if the simple no-frills Bizzamm experience is what you're looking for, then being a basic user is the best option. But if you're looking for more, don't worry. Advanced users can use all of the features their package enables and are not limited in any way other than by the parameters of whatever package they're on. There are three key functionalities that an advanced user can access that a basic user cannot. The first of these is the ability to add multiple contexts. In other words, to create a different profile for each entity, business, or venture they're involved in. This is important for various reasons, both legally and practically. We'll discuss contexts in further detail a little later on, and then explain how to go about creating them. The second thing an advanced user can do is create multiple collaborators on each context and assign different permissions to each of them. The last thing an advanced user can do is allow multiple users to collaborate on behalf of themselves and/or their party in a document without having the process held up. This is achieved by managing those collaborators' permissions up front. For example, say you would like a sales manager's input, but you don't want them to be a signee on the document. Well, an advanced user could simply stipulate that from the beginning. As you can imagine, the advantages of activating advanced features are significant. To make use of them yourself, start by going to your profile and clicking on your name. Then, at the bottom of the screen, have a look to see if Advanced Features has been activated. If it has, it'll appear in blue. Once you've made sure that the Advanced Features button is switched on, you'll be able to add new contexts using the plus button in the far left-hand menu. Just click on the plus sign for every new context you'd like to create, and then complete the information for that context. And, as promised, here's a bit more information around what contexts are and how you might use them. The Contexts feature allows users with one account to manage documents for and act as multiple different legal entities. Let's consider a real-world example of how that might be useful. Say you're an entrepreneur running multiple businesses, and you would like to be able to create documents for your software development startup, but at the same time, you also want to be able to create documents for your freelance writing company. And over and above that, you'd like to keep these documents organized and separate. Well, in this case, an advanced user would be able to do something a basic user could not. Sign up and create a context for their software development business, and then create a new context for their freelance writing company too. The advanced user's documents would then be easily manageable. They could act as a separate legal entity for both businesses and be in total control. That's because when you create a context as an individual, you're making yourself the main collaborator for that context. This means you'll be able to manage everything about it, including adding other collaborators to act on behalf of the context you've created. And if they do act on behalf of the context, they'll only be able to do so based on the permissions you assign to them. It's important to note that you'll have to set up collaborators for every context you create, which we'll discuss how to do shortly. Before we get there though, there are 2 points that need to be paid attention to. Firstly, you'll need to select either a pay-as-you-go or subscription package for each new context. Secondly, you should always check that you're working in the right context. In other words, in the context you want to be working in. To help you keep your bearings and to keep track of which context you're working in, the context you're busy with will appear in a brighter color than the others in the side menu. To switch between contexts, simply click on the one you'd like to work in. Now let's look at how to add collaborators to a context. First up, choose the context you'd like to add the collaborators to. Then, go over to the context profile and ensure that advanced features have been activated. If so, from the Users tab, have a look to see if your current package allows you to add collaborators. If it doesn't, you'll have to upgrade it. If it does, then we're ready to go. Click Invite Collaborator. All you'll have to do from there is type in their email address and their name and surname. Once a collaborator is invited, they'll receive an email letting them know. When a collaborator is invited, they are by default given view permissions only. If you would like to give them more permissions, you can. Remember, you are in complete control over what permissions a collaborator has within your context. So, if you'd like to edit the permissions of any of your collaborators, just click Edit Permissions. You'll see that there are up to 7 categories available to choose from: Administrative, Financials, Folders, Legal Document Management, Legal Documents, Collaborator Management, and, depending on your package, Template Management. Just check the box of the permission you'd like to assign, and a green tick will indicate that the collaborator has successfully been given this permission. A red cross, however, shows that a collaborator does not have a specified permission. If you would like to remove permissions from collaborators, just click on the green tick and it should change to a red cross, showing that that permission has been removed from that collaborator. Okay, let's move on to the final feature that working as an advanced user will give you access to: adding collaborators to work with you on a specific document. Assuming you've already enabled advanced features and that your package allows you to add collaborators, you can go to the document you'd like to add collaborators to. Then simply switch over to the Parties tab. Once there, you should be able to add collaborators by clicking on the Add Collaborator button on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. All you have to do is select a collaborator from a list of collaborators associated with your context. Next, confirm that they've got the permissions they'll need in order to collaborate with you. If they don't, you can edit their permissions by selecting the Edit Permissions button. Once that's all done, they'll be able to participate in the document to the extent that the permissions you've given allow them. From here on out, the process is the same as it would be when completing and finalizing any other document on Bizzamm. If a collaborator you've added has been given signing permissions, they'll need to sign the document before it can be considered complete. And speaking of complete, we're done. Now, you can go next level badass with Bizzamm using our advanced features too.